Today, Tuesday, 15th of September 2015. Let's look at the paper highlights of today's newspaper. US to draft resolution with Sri Lanka. The US delegation to United Nations in Geneva said yesterday it would engage with the Sri Lankan government to prepare a resolution on the accountability process in Sri Lanka that would receive the consensus and support of the Council. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror, Gota and Namal report to FCID. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and UPFA MP Namal Rajapaksa made statement to the Police Financial Crime Investigation Division last morning in the connection with various allegations against them. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror, Sakwiti Ranasinghe, 10 others indicted. Financial fraudster Sakwiti Ranasinghe and 10 others were indicted in the Colombo High Court on charges of the defrauding depositors of more than Rs 16 million deposit with Sakwiti Housing and Construction Private Limited between November 1st, 2006 and September 31st, 2008. Mr. Ranasinghe was in remand for more than 3 years. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror, child's non-admission to school, parents protest. Parents of a 6-year-old child stage a fast unto the death campaign in front of the Pannipitiya Dharmapala Vidyalaya to protest against the school administration that refused their child grade 1 admission. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror, will commit harakiri of charges, Pravin Bandula. Former Education Minister Bandula Gunawardena yesterday vowed to commit harakiri at the Golface grounds if the JVP could prove the charges level against him. Misappropriating funds when constructing Mahindodaya laboratories in state schools. 5-year-old girl abused and strangled. No arrest made so far. Massive protest by the villagers demanding arrest to culprit. The magisterial inquiry into the death of the 5-year-old girl who went missing 3 days ago in Kotadeniyawa has revealed that she was struggled in the sexually abused, police said yesterday. Now let's move to the paper highlight of Daily News. In search of truth and justice, Mangala proposes Truth Commission, Office of Missing Person to be set up by statute. The government will be set up independent, credible and empowered mechanism for truth-seeking, justice, reparation and guarantees of non-recurrence within the framework of the Constitution, Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira said at the general debate of the 30th session of United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva yesterday. He said for the truth-seeking and the government will establish by statute 2 mechanism, a commission for truth, justice, reconciliation, non-recurrence to be evolved in consultation with the relevant authorities of South Africa. Another news highlight from Daily News, finding are most of the serious nature, Zaid. The report to be released tomorrow. Its findings are of the most serious nature, UN High Commissioner Human Rights Zeid Ra'ad Al Hussein yesterday said while referring to the report of an investigation that Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights was mandated to conduct on Sri Lanka war. Making his opening address at the 30th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva yesterday, Al Hussein added that he would release the highly anticipated report on Wednesday. Referring to Sri Lanka in a speech, Al Hussein said, I welcome the vision shown by President Sirisena since his election in January 2015 and the commitments made by the new government under his leadership. He added, but this council owes it to Sri Lankans and its own credibility to ensure the accountability process and the produced results decisively moves beyond the failure of the past and bring the deep institutional changes need to be guaranteed non-recurrence. Al Hussein said 6 years ago we were confronted with a serious violation and loss of civilians' life and will last month of Sri Lanka will long civil war. New provincial ministers sworn in. Minister of the Western and the Northwestern Province was sworn before the President Maithripala Sirisena at President's House yesterday. Provincial Councillor Ranjit Somavansa and Sandhya Kumara Rajapaksha become the Provincial Minister of Education for the Western and Northwestern Province respectively. More news highlight from Daily News. Northern Provincial Council to stick to its call for the international probe. The Northern Provincial Council will stand by its call for an international investigation into the alleged act of the atrocities committed against Tamil during the war, the chairman of the council, CVK Sivanyanam, said. Hajj Festival on September 24th. The Hajj Festival will be celebrated on the September 24th, the Colombo Grand Mosque announced yesterday. Therefore, the first day of Dhul Hajj will be on Tuesday, September 15, Arafah on September 23rd and Eid al-Adha on September 24th. Another news highlight from Daily News. Australian PM Tony Abbott outside. Australia is to have a new Prime Minister after Tony Abbott was ousted in the leader of the Liberal Party by Cabinet Minister Malcolm Turnbull. In the Hustly Orange Party leadership ballot, Abbott, who had been pledged by poor opinion polls, received 44 votes, Turnbull's 54. Now let's move to the paper highlight of Ceylon today. Lalit Veeratunga indicted the Attorney General had filed the action in the High Court of Colombo against the Lalit Chandrakumar Veeratunga, the Secretary of the former President, and the Anusha Palpita, former Director General of the Sri Lanka Telecom Regulatory Commission, misappropriating 600 million rupees of SLTRC. They have been charged the expending the said quantum of money from the SLTRC, stating that the money is for the distribution still ready for the voters. The Colombo High Court Judge Kusala Sarojini Veeravardhana yesterday decided to take up the case on 18 September and requested the AG to produce the initial reports of the Magistrate Court and the court production on that date. We brought you the paper highlights of today's newspaper. We will bring you more tomorrow.